Howdy, welcome to Ed Reviews Anything, almost. Well, I've been using the Elgato prompter for my talking head videos for a while now. And when I first bought the prompter, I was too cheap to get the camera that went along with it. And plus, it kind of bothered me. It wasn't 4K, it was an HD camera. But, that's not really that big a deal. So I found this mainly I was just too cheap to spend the 120 bucks, I think is what it was that I paid for it. So as you can see, I have decided to open up my wallet a little bit, and I spent the money to get the camera. So we're going to open her up here and check it out and see what we got. So, a little tab to open on the top there. So there we go. Kind of opened it more or less. See what we got in here. Okay. Little booklet in there that's more booklet than comes with most stuff. Most things you get these days got about a page and a half little pad on them. We don't need that. Get rid of it. So anyway, let's see what we got here. Okay, so we got a USB-A to USB-C cable. And let's see if we can get the camera out of the little packaging here. Well, it slid out the front, so I don't need to worry about that. So I'll have the maid clean that stuff up later. I should be so lucky. There you go. You're looking at the maid. Let's see what we got here. Come on out of there, dadgummit. There we go. That little sticker was trying to grab a hold of me there. So here we go. Got a little cover on it. And I think that probably opens electronically there. I don't know if you can see it or not. But there we go. So you can see there's a little cover over it, a little tab right there, but I'm not going to attempt to press or move that tab just yet, because I ain't going to break something before I know what I'm doing, because that's just the way it is. So, and obviously the USB-C input here says 5 volts, 0.9 amps. And of course that same input is going to feed the video to the computer. Let's see what this little pamphlet is. Battery powered operation. Ooh, all kinds. That's obviously German there. And that may be French. I don't know. Yep, FR looks like that's French. So they got all kinds of languages there. I don't need that thing. Let's see if this has any information in it that's worthwhile. Okay, so downloading and install the Elgato camera app. So we'll do that. Mount the camera on your monitor. We can do that. And apparently there's a little locking ring at the bottom there, looks like. And that ought to get that. So anyway, open the privacy shutter. So the privacy shutter is manually open, so I can feel confident in moving that without trying to break anything. Connect the FaceCam directly to the USB-C or USB 3.0 or better to port to your PC or Mac. Do not use a USB hub. Okie dokie. Use only the supplied USB 3 cable or equivalent / better. Clean the lens with a microfiber cloth. Do not use paper towels or detergents. Enjoy using your FaceCam with your favorite streaming and video conferencing apps: Zoom, Skype, OSB, Slack, Google Meet, FaceTime, MS Teams, and I'm assuming that it will also work with Ecamm Live. I wouldn't see why not. And that's it for instructions. Got the technical specifications there. Do 1080p at 60 frames or 30, 720, and so on and so forth. But 1080p is, I think, all I will be interested in. and aperture and focal length and field of view 84 degrees should be more than adequate, especially since it's designed to go with the Elgato prompter. And the dimensions and the weight, 90 entire grams, not very heavy. And there's different languages for the technical specs, so I guess that's about all we need out of that. So let's drag the prompter over here and take a look at it. So that does not appear that it's going to fit through there to me. Whoops. Okay, so a little bit of weight and balance problem here for our aviation fans. Yep, I'm definitely going to have to do something about that. So, still a little wobbly. I haven't thought about weight and balance in several years since they made me retire from flying when I hit 70. The bastards, I would have flown another 3 or 4 years if they'd have let me. But such is life. So there you go. I think it's balanced pretty good. It'll work just fine now. And so this connector here that they sent with it, I ain't real sure how they wanted you to mount that thing, but on the little platform here on the back of the Elgato monitor, it fits just perfectly fine. The only thing I should have done before I put it in there is I should have opened up that dadgum privacy shutter, which I did not do, but let's see if we can reach around here and get it. If not, we'll just take the thing back off, or actually just loosen it up and spin it around a little bit. And then we can reach in there and open up the privacy shutter. That got that just fine. So there we go. So next step would be, let's hook her up to the computer and see how she does. So this is what it looks like looking directly at the hub. Let me center up in front of it here. So if I was using the prompter to do a video, then obviously I would have my script scrolling up on the prompter, and I'm looking straight into the camera, so it looks like I'm talking right to you, and I just know what I'm talking about. But and usually what I do, instead of having an actual script, is I do talking points, and then I just talk about the talking points, and it works out just fine. But in any case, let's get on to the camera hub software itself. So you see here we are on the camera. Now, this is the factory settings that it came with, and you see where I've got it lined up on the little platform back there. We're seeing a little bit of the edge of the possibly that might be the little drape or the curtain behind the camera to keep the light spill out. I think that's probably what it is. Let's see here. Nope, I don't think, well, let's see. Nope, that wasn't it. So it's picking up the side of the hardware there somewhere. And I guess that makes sense. You can kind of see right there, there's a little jagged edge there. So that's a piece of plastic. However, we can use the settings here to zoom and tilt and pan, so we will do that. Before I do that, I do want to point out that this is a little underexposed, and our factory settings here, let's see, we've got 1/60th of a second, and we are using a ISO of 135. It's set on automatic. So first thing, let's turn that off, and we got rid of the automatic. So now we've got an ISO of 100 and still 1/60th, and I think I want to leave it on 1/60th of a second, so we'll just bump the ISO up here a little bit, see what that does for us. So we're getting up around 300 on the ISO, or the ISO, depends. Some people call it ISO, and I've always called it just ISO myself, but who knows? I don't even know what ISO stands for. Let's see if on camera exposure, what does ISO stand for?
Here's an answer from Skylum.com.
So ISO stands for the International Organization for Standardization in Photography. It measures the sensitivity of the camera sensor to light affecting the brightness of the image. So there you go. It's amazing, you know, we got the whole world at our hands. I remember when I was a kid, I had to use the Encyclopedia Britannica, or it was actually it's the World Book that my parents had bought for me. It was like 26 volumes, and it was like that big, and you know, that was all the knowledge that was available. Now you can find it whatever you want on Siri. So anyway, we got it cranked up here a little bit to ISO 300 or 293, it's about the same, and we'll just pop it up another notch or two. And that looks pretty good to me. White balance is automatic, and I'm good with that. Let's turn it off just for a minute. I don't know, that warmed it up a little bit when I turned that off. Let's see, we'll crank it up to about 6,000 Kelvin. I don't know, that gets a little tint to it. We'll turn it back on to automatic. Yeah, I think auto is probably good. Let's turn it off one more time, see what it, I don't know, we'll leave it on auto. And noise reduction looks fine to me, just for the heck of it. Let's turn the noise reduction off. Didn't see any big change. And so we'll turn it back on to medium. And the anti-flicker should be 60 Hertz, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to let me select that, so whatever. We are on 60 frames per second right now, so let's go to 30 and see what that does for us. Didn't really notice any particular change. Let's go back to 60. Yeah, about the same. Now one thing I do want to take a look at here, if I can find it, where there should be, I'm thinking it had a setting, if I recall, for HDR, but I'm not seeing it right now. And of course, like I say, I just plugged this thing in a few minutes ago, so I'm sure I'll have a little bit to find. Now, one thing, the pan and tilt are zeroed out here, or grayed out, and I'm suspecting that's because I am not zoomed in any, so let's find out if that is in fact the case. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, and as soon as we zoomed in, it did in fact activate our pan and tilt. So apparently that is not a toggle button that I'm seeing there. Well, let's see what this does. Okay, there we go. So okay, so now we've got it panned over so that we don't have our little bit of the frame showing here. And for tilt, I think, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, let's just for the heck of it zoom in a little more. I don't know, that looks about pretty good there, I think. So we'll leave that be. And you can have presets here. I don't know that I will go for that because if you're doing a talking head video, you're doing a talking head video. How many different presets are you going to need? I don't know. But I just ain't that fancy, you know. I'm just an old hillbilly, so we'll just do the best we can. So what else do we want to take a look at here? Now, I just noticed effects there. We'll take a look at that in a second. And metering center weighted. Let's see, and it's not, let's go for automatic metering. Ooh, that darkened us up considerably. We went back to an ISO of 135, and I don't know about that. So we'll turn that off and go back to where we were. So yep, like that better. And dynamic range, that's what I was looking for. I thought it had an HDR on it somewhere. So let's take a look. There's standard. And let's go to high dynamic range. And that's interesting. I noticed that we now have quite a bit of flickering on my lamp over here on the other desk behind me. So that is no bueno. Go back to standard. Holy crap. So why did that make such a difference? I didn't change my ISO or my shutter speed. Huh. Okay. And of course, I'm not actually recording this right now to any of the platforms that I could be using. So in a little bit here, we'll record some to Quicktime, and then I'll record some to the Ecamm Live, and I may even fire up Zoom and record a little bit on that. So we'll see how it actually looks on the various platforms for recording. So is there anything else we want to look at here? I don't think so. Let's just for the heck of it go back to 60 frames per second. And did that make a difference? Did I see something shift a little bit there? Nope. So we'll go back to 60 and we'll just leave it there. And I think that's about it. So let's just go from top to bottom. We got the device, can't change that. I could save it apparently here as one of the presets, so it just save. Well, it says saved, but it didn't say where it was saved. Okay. Aha! Well, now that's interesting. So apparently it saved it as preset B, or apparently these are predefined presets. So there we go. So there is preset B. How do you like my stupid little flexible arm over here for putting a camera up over the overhead? In fact, that's where we had one of the iPhones mounted to record the video of the unboxing. And I did notice that I should have been zoomed out a little bit on that. I got a little too tight on my zoom. So anyway, frame we got, and we're zoomed in a little bit, and looks good. And picture of the contrast. We didn't play with contrast any. Let's take a look at that. So 100% contrast versus 80%. 0% washes it out pretty good. So we'll go back to 80, which is where it was set from the factory. And there you go, that looks pretty good. Saturation, I think it's about right. Oh, that's, how you like them orange stripes there, huh? We could go for the black and white look, I suppose. But, about 50%, that looks good. I don't remember what it was on the preset, but I don't really care. Sharpness, let's see what that does for, oh yeah, that makes quite a bit of difference. Yeah, so there you go. And exposure, we've already played with that, and we're not going to go back to automatic. I just don't like it. And white balance, we'll leave that auto, and that's about the size of that. So there you go. that is our basic look at the Elgato camera, which goes along with the prompter. So I think I'm going to like it okay. And the big thing is, previously you saw the little platform that I put the camera on behind the prompter. I had previously taken that platform off of the prompter and I was just putting one of my iPhones behind there on a tripod, and it was a pain in the butt, and I had to move it back and forth to get it centered up and pull it up and down and fiddle with the curtain back there to keep the light from leaking through. So now that I got this permanent set up, I'm not going to have to touch it. So yeah, I should have spent the $120 sooner, but being a cheap old hillbilly, what can I say? So here we are with the Elgato camera, and we're testing this with the Quicktime movie recording on the computer. And when I was reviewing the footage from my screen recording a few minutes ago, I discovered that I should have used a little better microphone. So hopefully this is sounding better. And after we do this little test, we'll switch over and probably try Ecamm Live and then Zoom. Or maybe we'll try Zoom and then Ecamm Live. I don't know. So here we are on Zoom, and I don't have a green screen set up behind me, so it's a little fuzzy around the edges there. But it's not doing a bad job. But I do have a green screen, which I normally use if I want a green screen effect. But I didn't feel like setting it up, so there you go. But on Zoom, I do tend to use my little ghost girls, and that's the newest ghost girl I created today, as a matter of fact. And I just thought a little dystopian girl in the far off future looking at her city and all the trash would be good. So there you go. Actually, let me pull up a different ghost girl. So I've got a bunch of different ghost girls. I enjoy making them on Photoshop. And here is the second most recent one that I did. And she's a little happier. So, there we go. So she's just out in her field of flowers there, fading away. I don't know what she died of, probably a aneurysm, I imagine. Laura, what was it? Laura Branigan? That was her name. Laura, she did some good music. Laura died of an aneurysm. She was only about 40 or something like that. So anyway, the other thing I did on the Elgato was I did bump the ISO up a little bit because I felt like it was a little dark at the 300 setting, so I popped it up to 500, and it looks a little better. So yeah, go play around with the settings and get what you want, and that's about the size of it. So before we go, I'll find another ghost girl just for my own entertainment and amusement. And let's see, which one do I want to go with this time? And I don't know. Well, actually, go back. I just did the two most recent ones. This is the very first Ghost Girl I ever did right here. So, and let me scoot out of the way a little bit. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And I did this one before they had generative fill. So when I erased the girl out of the scene, I had to rebuild the area behind her using the clone stamp and such various features of that as that in Photoshop. So there you go. That's what it looks like on Zoom. So here we are on Ecamm Live, and I've gone back to my dystopian ghost girl that I did this morning. And also I did actually go to the trouble of setting up the green screen behind me. And we'll switch that off for a second. So there you go. Got the green screen. It's not the best green screen in the world. It's made out of fabric. It's a little lumpy, but we've got it adjusted there pretty good. Now on Ecamm, of course, you can change the fade level for the green screen. So it's kind of a balancing act there to get it exactly right, as you see what I mean. So I had it set pretty decent. A smidgen here and a smidgen there. That looks pretty decent. It's a little fuzzy on my long hippie hair in the back. Yeah, you start to see a few old hippie hillbilly kind of folks around, so I guess I'll get right in there with them. There we go. That looks a little better. So got a little problem down here on the bottom left-hand corner there, and what can you do? But that's about the size of it. So I think I'm going to like the Elgato camera pretty good. Like I say, I don't have to worry about trying to balance my dadgum iPhone back there behind the prompter anymore, and it's always there. So all I got to do is turn her on and record. So the only thing I do have to figure out is how to turn off that little blue indicator light, because that is distracting, especially if I did actually have talking points scrolling on my prompter, which I don't right now. I'm just talking to you. So other than that, I think it's pretty good. So it's going to be a matter of finding the correct setting for the ISO, or the ISO as you might prefer. And that's about the size of it. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you in another one.